This is my mom. We're making chiles en nogada. According to legend, 200 years ago, after having signed the Declaration of Independence, the first ruler of Mexico, Agustín de Iturbide, was traveling through Puebla where the nuns of the Santa Monica convent were commissioned to prepare a dish fit for an emperor. It was late August. Using seasonal ingredients from the mineral-rich fields guarded by the volcanoes, inspired by the city's Baroque architecture, and with the blessing of San Pascual Bailón, holy patron of cooks, the Augustine sisters came up with the first chile en nogada. The opulent picadillo-filled Poblano pepper that turns golden like the ornamented vaults of the Capilla del Rosario comes to the table dressed with the colors of the national flag, parsley, nogada sauce, and pomegranate seeds. Chile en nogada became one of Mexico's national dishes, reminiscent of the birth of our young nation, and for me, evocative of a city and a way of living that slowly dissolves into the yellowing pages of a family cookbook. You see, I still grew up in a Puebla where chiles en nogada season felt like a local holiday. Families got together first to make and later to eat the chiles. Women shared the contact of their favorite nuez marchante only with their closest friends. Being invited to someone's house for the comida de chiles was a huge honor. By early September, friends all over town were gossiping about whose picadillos had the pieces too big, what capeado was super greasy, or, the worst insult, what nogada was runny from lack of nuez de Castilla. It was the perfect time to channel the passive-aggressive via your personal food critic. Back then, I couldn't quite understand the picadillo, this feeling where everything coexisted, the pasita and the banana with the meat and the tomatoes, and the durazno. It felt like such a waste of durazno. But, oh my god, did I love the nogada. I would stand by the serving bowl that sat right in front of my face and urgently devour spoonfuls of the rich white gold, almost liquid but with a little bite, perfection. The making of the chiles began days prior. First came the cleaning of the nuez. 2 or 3 people would crack the shells and then patiently one by one clean the nuts. Next day, it'd be all about making the picadillo. A few pairs of hands were needed to finely chop all the ingredients, veggies, fruits, and nuts. My abuela was very strict about using a fine cut. If you can tell what you're chewing, then it's not a picadillo, she would say. Communal chopping around a kitchen table creates such an intimate feminine space, where time moves slower and secrets feel safe to come out. Then came the capeado. Once the chiles are peeled and deseeded, they are stuffed with the picadillo, rolled in flour, submerged in a cloud-like egg batter, and fried. Then, they must be degreased for about a day. Otherwise, they would ruin your pristine nogada with big grease puddles when on the plate. Finally, the nogada is made minutes prior to being served, then carefully scooped on the chile that's lastly garnished with vibrant green parsley and passionate red pomegranate seeds. It's beautiful, pleasurable for all the senses, and always washes the table with an undertone of celebration, even when the reasons to celebrate are no longer the same. Iturbide was emperor for only a year. The Santa Monica convent is now a museum. After the independence came a revolution, and nowadays the nuez de Castilla is sold already peeled. Mexico is permanently changing. Yet, chiles en nogada remain forever special. A dish to celebrate, to be inspired, to feel grateful. A dish made for an emperor and enjoyed by an emperorless nation. A city of commoners that like to eat as kings. A plate comprised of layering flavors, textures, and techniques that have found a way to stay one, defy time, and imprint itself in history to result in one gastronomic masterpiece.